Namaste and welcome back to Waking Up with Mindful Serenity. We're going to continue with answering questions from the jar. I like to do 3 videos at a time if I can, and today allows me to do that. I'll be working the rest of the week, so I won't have time. So I am going to look down at this really quickly. How do I handle physical pain? How do I handle physical pain? I don't know if they say I, so they're asking me to give them advice on how they should handle physical pain. I think that's the question. So I'm going to take a deep breath. First of all, I can't tell anyone how to handle physical pain. Physical pain is a unique experience for this human, this body that you're in, and this human that you call you, or you call me. I would call you. I just get mixed up with that. But it's a very unique experience. So pain is pain. If you're experiencing pain, you should find out why you're having the pain. Pain, to me, especially body pain, is a communication thing. The body's telling you that something needs to be looked at and experienced. Sometimes what the body's telling you to look at is actually a psychosomatic cause, but other times it's just physiological changes taking place in the body that need to be investigated and possibly treated if they point to a chronic condition or to an acute condition that should be looked at right away. So that I'm going to say that first of all, I am not able to tell anyone how they should handle their pain. Your experience of pain is unique to you. My experience to pain is unique to me, and I can tell you how I handle pain and what I have learned through watching my own pain and how I have grown because of physical pain, if that makes any sense. For the most part, I've always been a very healthy kid, healthy person. Made little minor ailments every now and again, like a lactose intolerance, nothing, just as long as I stay away from ice cream and milk and those types of things. I might have had the odd muscle pain, a few cut stitches here and there, no broken bones, surprisingly, except for the one in my vertebrae, which was much later. Anyway, fairly healthy person. I never had to deal with a lot of physical pain until I started getting chest pain. And then with the chest pain, which took me years and years to get diagnosed, but it was coronary vasospasms, very familial. 3 of my other sisters have it as well. And I actually had one who died from it. Which was compounded by something else. So it caused this great deal of chest pain. So when I first started getting the chest pain, I didn't know how to handle the chest pain because being a nurse, when I first started getting it, I started associating with heart attack, all the worst case scenarios. There's this gloom and doom that comes with angina too. It's like a physiological or psychological component of the physiological component of angina. It's almost like to tell the human being to get help. Something's really going on. I'm going to scare you so that you go get help. So that often comes with these coronary vasospasms on top of the physical pain. I've also had with the angina, then I start getting pelvic pain. I have a cyst, which is not big or demanding of attention and great deal, but the pain itself wakes me up every single morning, and it can be quite excruciating. I've had the pain of eye pain. I've had tooth pain recently for 6 months because of an infection in my mouth. And I've had joint pain and knee pain, and I thought I had fractures in my shins for almost a year because after I got my diagnosis, it was before I had my diagnosis of osteoporosis, I was having all this shin pain, and I used to run, so I know what a shin splint feels like, and they just seemed different, and they were shooting up into my knees, and I said, my gosh, what is this? It was hard to take a step. And that lasted for a good 6 months or so, and turned out not to be fractures. I don't know what it is, but I had that pain as well. I also have hurt my back. I had, been down and out with my back or my back nursing one year, and it kind of bothers me every now and again. I have to watch it. It hasn't bothered me in a long time, knock on wood, but I've had that pain as well. Now, that's all story, okay? That's all body story. That's all history of this body. And in the big scheme of things, I honestly believe it means absolutely nothing. The key thing the pain has brought me was learning and growth. So it was every experience, the body was telling me something. And at the same time, the body was telling me, especially with the chest pain, because it took me so long to get diagnosed. And it was so debilitating. It's because mostly of the fear associated with it. That has been my greatest learning. So learning to deal with the chest pain, what I had to do was detach the story from the physical pain. Detach the story from the physical pain. Meaning that I had to detach the fear-based story that went with it. Every time I got a bout of pain, was like, oh my gosh, this is so painful. I may die. This may be a heart attack. Or I got to get in. I got to get help right away. And then because people weren't looking at it seriously, I kept getting sent home and stuff like that. Before I was diagnosed, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't go in. I got this pain and no one's going to help me with it because nobody believes me. And then I attached a whole story of shame onto that. I think, oh my God, I've got this. Maybe I don't really have the pain. Maybe they're right. What's wrong with me? Why would I be experiencing such pain when it's not even there? And it was just a great big gigantic story sometimes that we wrap around our pain. And it's the story that's debilitating, not the pain. Physical pain, like all physical phenomena in this lifetime, will come and go. It will ebb and flow. If you've ever had a baby, you will know that the contractions are a perfect example of this ebb and flow of physical pain. You notice the contraction coming on, it's ebbing up, it reaches a peak, and then it diminishes and you can watch it. If we could watch our pain sensations doing that as they come in and come out and watch them from a distance, as ladies in Lamaze class are taught to do, and to breathe our way through each pain cycle, because breath is so healing. It relaxes the body. It kicks the parasympathetic system in. When you're in pain and you're in the story of the pain, the sympathetic system kicks in and you have that fear response and that stress response. And so you have adrenaline pumping through the body, you have cortisol pumping through the body, and you're actually going to end up, in some cases, tensing up the body, which increases the pain experience tenfold. When you're relaxing the body through the pain experience, you don't have the muscle tension centered around the source of pain. You just have a relaxed, limp body. You have the experience of ebb and flow of pain. So much easier to notice it, so much easier to observe it, so much easier to concentrate on breath as it's happening, so you can incorporate the breath into the pain experience, and it can actually distract you from the actual physical pain. But the thing is to relax into pain. We relax into pain by removing the story associated with it. It's the story that causes the stress response. It's the story that aggravates the pain. It's the aggravation of that pain experience through story and muscle tension that makes the pain so much worse. Remove the story, remove the muscle tension, and all you have is pain coming and going, coming and going. And you learn to deal with chronic pain that way by simply observing it. One of the things I do now when I get Charlie horses, and I get wicked Charlie horses, probably because of calcium, whatever, the osteoporosis or whatever, I don't know. But my whole leg will cramp up and my foot will cramp up and they'll come out of nowhere. And they could be, and they have been, all-encompassing to a point where I'm screaming, jumping up and down, beating my foot against the floor, trying to get rid of the pain. I was resisting it. I was resisting the pain. I was resisting the pain because the story in my head of what's going on? Oh God, this is so bad. I can't stand this. How can anybody stand this? I don't know how long it's lasts. It's never going to go away. All that story of resistance was causing me to tense up even more, and it made the pain 10 times worse. One time during a really bad spasm, I decided to do the opposite. I said, okay, I'm not going to resist this. I'm going to try this out. I'm going to accept and relax into this pain experience. I took several deep, long breaths. I was very conscious about relaxing the muscles in the leg and relaxing the muscles in the remainder of the body. I observed the story, but I said, no, I'm not going to get caught up in that story. I hear the story. I know it's not necessarily the truth. It's okay. This is just pain. Pain comes, pain goes. And I allowed the story to go. I allowed the muscle tension to go. And the Charlie horse lasted like a few seconds compared to maybe up to 5 minutes like it would before. Just like that, it was gone. Just, oh, that really worked. So I tried it again, the next Charlie horse, and again, the next Charlie horse. Then I began trying it with the other pain I was getting, with the pelvic pain, with the chest pain. And it was like, wow. The chest pain doesn't necessarily go away when I'm relaxed and when the story is gone, but it's so much more easy to accept. And acceptance is probably one of the most healing things to do when we have physical pain. It's our resistance to that. This should not be happening. This is wrong. This is bad. This shouldn't be. That causes the physiological response that aggravates pain experiences, the muscle tension, right? As well as the story, which becomes all encompassing and heavy, making the pain experience so much more drastic than it has to be. So I can't tell you how to deal with your pain experience. First of all, I'm going to say, if you don't know where the pain is coming from, get it investigated. Your pain in your body is a very smart instrument. It knows when something's up. It's just trying to signal to you that there's something going on. And maybe it's signaling you that something not just physiologically is going on, but psychosomatically is going on that you need to deal with. Maybe, there's a loss. You got suppressed grief, or there's some other samskara being aggravated inside you that's causing the physical pain. And I know most of my gut pain that I get, even though I have a diagnosis for it, is definitely samskara related. So every time I get it, I know, okay. And so I try to work on that stuff. But before you do that, know where the pain is coming from physiologically. Then know where the pain is coming from psychologically. Then begin. If you so choose to do this, after you've taken every other measure for pain, you can just try it. It won't hurt to try it in a couple of your pain experiences, like I did with the Charlie horses, to relax into the pain experience, to begin consciously breathing, consciously relaxing muscles, consciously telling yourself that the story is not something you have to listen to right now. It's just there. And then observe the pain coming in and coming out. And before long, it may diminish. And of course, if pain does not diminish, you know what you have to do. Seek help. Anyway, that is my story of dealing with pain. I hope it makes sense. I think I just raved on there about myself for 10 minutes and it doesn't feel right, but hey. And again, my pain experience is just a story. All that is just a story. What's happening to this body is just a story. I'm going to take care of it, and I'm going to love it, and I'm going to, handle the pain as it comes, but I'm not going to get caught up in the story of my body or of the physical pain. Thank you so much for joining me. Have an amazing day. Namaste.